Okay, let's start. So in the Excel sketch, they ask you to sketch for the range from 0 to 360, the graph of these two. So we are supposed to plot for y equals to 2 sine x, and we are also supposed to plot for a cosine graph. Okay, so step by step. So let's take a look at this first one. Okay, you got to write out the information that you need first. Firstly, what is the amplitude? Okay, amplitude is the number in front of the sign. In this case, is 2. Okay, and then next is we need to know what's the period. The period is always fixed at 360 degree divided by the coefficient of this one. In front of the x is 1, so divide it by 1, and therefore my period is 360 degree. So period 360 degree means you only see one cycle in 360 degree. Next, do we have any shift? Shift means that usually if 2 sine x, let's say plus 1, then you know that your shift is 1. In this case, there is no plus or minus number, so that means the shift is 0. So that means, in other words, your middle line is the x-axis. Okay, your middle line is the x-axis. Okay, so now I'm going to use, for me, I'm going to use pen to draw, but of course during your exam you're going to use pencil to draw, because if it's wrong you can still erase. Because using pen, because I scared pencil you all cannot see clearly, so I'm going to use pen. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm going to draw okay, so over here the amplitude is 2, so that means we know that the sine graph, the maximum is 2, the minimum is negative 2. So we will need a 2 and as well as a negative 2. Is it balanced? I don't think so. Let me draw a little bit down. So you need to, don't have to be exact, but you have to, the interval must be quite proportional. So I'm going to 2.1 here. So this is my minus 2. Okay, but before we go to plot, let's find out what's the information for the cosine graph first. Maybe I'll do it here. First, amplitude. The amplitude is the number in front of the cosine. In this case, it's just 1. Period 360 degree divided by the coefficient in front of the x. In this case, is half x. So I'm going to divide by half, and you get 720 degree. So when the period is 720 degree, they only ask you to draw from 0 to 360, means you only draw half a cycle. Okay, you only draw half a cycle. Next, shift. In this case, minus half, so that means your graph is shifted down by half. So I'm going to put my shift is negative 0.5. Okay, so now let's take a look at the normal sine graph first. The normal sine graph. So I'm going to mark out 360 degree. Okay, half of it will be 180. Another half will be 90. So now you know that one interval for the sine graph is 90. So 180 plus 90, we know that this one will be 270 degree. Okay, so you see how I draw. This one no shift, so my middle line is the x-axis. Okay, and my maximum is 2, my minimum is negative 2. So now you are ready to plot the sine graph. Plot the 5 critical points. Okay, sine graph start from 0. Sine graph start from 0. So you got to mark out 0. Then you go up to maximum at 90 degree. So I mark up one more point here. It go back to 0 at 180 degree. Now you go down to the minimum, which is -2 at 270. So put a point here and mark out. Go back to 0 at 360 degrees. So now we have the 5 critical points. It's easier for you to plot the sine graph. So now you know that sine graph looks like that. Wait. Okay, mine is not perfect, but around there. So this is my sine graph. So don't forget to label. So this is y is equals to 2 sine x. Okay, I'm going to use the green color pen. Of course, during exam you cannot use, but I'm using another color so that you know the difference. Which graph is which graph. Okay, so now I'm going to draw the cosine graph. So always draw the shift first. In this case, we have a shift -0.5. It means that I need to go to here and put a -0.5. So this is my new middle line. So what you need to do is help me to like and share. Okay, help me to like and share. Like and share. Give me more likes, please. Today 1.1k. I'm going to target at least give me 10k. 10k like. And help me to share. Okay, help me to share so that you will the TikTok algorithm will actually push out the live to other people, so other people will also see that I'm teaching, and then they can come in and learn together as well. So next is you got to draw the so-called new middle line. So the middle line you will draw it as dotted. Don't draw solid line. Okay, so this is my middle line, and the amplitude is 1. 1 means that -0.5 plus 1, it will be 0.5. -0.5 minus 1 is -1.5. Okay, mine is not going to be. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of adjustment because I need to have. Okay, if let's say this is my -1.5 here and here, so it's around here. Okay, what I do is I want to get this and this to be about the same thickness, although this is not really very the same, but yeah, let me adjust a little bit, because if it is not equal, later your graph, right, will looks a bit not proportional. Then you was wondering, why your graph like look so ugly? Because it is not equal. Okay, you see, I use a lot of correction tape, but of course by right you all should use pencil. You all should use pencil. Okay, so now let's plot. And just now we mentioned that you need to draw half a cycle. So see, my cosine graph. Normal cosine graph is supposed to be this way, right? That's your normal cosine graph. And since we know that we are supposed to draw half a cycle, that means you're going to draw only this part. And when you only need to draw half a cycle, you only need 2 interval. So that means 360 and 180, and that's enough. Okay, cosine graphs start from the maximum. So that means my first critical point will be at 0.5. How do I get 0.5? Is my shift is -0.5. My amplitude is 1. So -0.5 plus 1 is 0.5. -0.5 minus 1 is -1.5. So that's my minimum. Okay, you see, look at the cosine graph. It starts from maximum. Then you go down to the 0. Okay, this 0 will be at 180 degree, but it's at this new 0 line, which is the green color line, the -0.5. And then you go down to the minimum. So my minimum is -1.5. So it will be at this point here. Okay, so you're going to draw this one. You're going to draw half a cycle only. So we're going to draw this. What looks like this, and we are done. This is only half a cycle. Half a cycle. If you continue, it's supposed to be like that. But because they only want us to draw from 0 to 360, means I only draw half a cycle. So we are done. And lastly, label, this is y is equals to cosine x over 2 minus half. And we are done. So that's how you plot sine graph and cosine graph. It's a Sec 3 topics. Okay, most school learned AMath trigo plotting graph in Sec 3 Express. Sec 3. Normal Acad also learn trigo graph for your information. Okay. Next they ask, use your graph to explain why there is no obtuse angle x such that blah blah blah. So you look at this. These 2 sine x is actually the first graph. Cosine x over 2 minus half is actually the second graph. Correct? So when they're actually doing so-called simultaneous between the 2 graphs and finding the intersection point. So now you look at your graph, the blue color and the green color. Where does it cut? See, it cut at this point here and this point. So you can see that the angle of the point of intersection is between 0 and 90, as well as 180 to 270. You do not have anything which is between 90 and 180. That is why there is no obtuse angle x. Okay, so use your graph to explain. So you will say that there is no intersection point between 90 degree and 180 degree. Okay, there is no intersection point between 90 and 180 degree. Therefore, there is no obtuse angle x. Okay, the intersection point, you can also give additional information. The 2 intersection point are at, the first one is between 0 to 90, is between this range, you see, it's between 0 and 90, and 180 and 270. Okay? Okay, and that's all for this question. Okay, so for those who are very weak in plotting trigo graph, actually it's not tough. Okay. If you all have any questions relating to the question that I'm doing, you can always ask in the chat. You can always ask in the chat. If not, I will go move on. And for those who want to take the PDF worksheets, you can go to my Telegram channel. Okay, how to go to my Telegram channel is click on my bio, the link there, the last button will go to my Telegram channel whereby you can download the PDF worksheet. Okay, they will have these 4 empty questions. That means the 4 questions without any solution. Okay, the solution will only be uploaded tomorrow. Okay, and then as for the recording, you can get the recording. Okay, you can get the recording from my YouTube channel. So my team will also upload tomorrow. Okay, like maybe you understand now maybe 50 to 60%, then you can always find a time to go and watch my YouTube recording, and then after that watch the video again, and then you will learn better. Then you see, oh, from 60% understanding now become 100% understanding. Okay? Okay, so now let's move on to question number 2. Question number 2 is binomial. Okay, binomial. So many students always, for the past few live, I've been students asking for binomial. Okay, binomial is not an easy topic, but it's also not that tough. Once you understand the underlying principle, okay, it's actually quite easy. So we are just trying to adjust. Okay, never mind, I think that's the best. Okay, maybe I just shift this. Okay, so now find the ratio of the coefficient of the third term and the fifth term to that of the fifth term of this expansion. Okay, so this one straight away they already asked you to find the third term, and also this one is the fifth term. So you straight away use the general term formula. Okay, the general term formula. So let's find the third term. So my T3 is 2 plus 1. This 2 plus 1 is what? It means that my error is 2. My error is 2. So formula is NCR. So my N is 10. So it's 10C2. A is 2x squared. And then over here is N minus error. So it's 10 minus 2. B in this case is negative 1 over x. Remember to put in the negative here. To the power of error. In my case, my error is 2. Okay, so I will get 10C2 2x squared to the power of 8 negative 1 over x to the power of 2. Let's simplify. So 10C2, how are you going to key calculator? 10 shift C, the divide. Okay, above the divide you see a NCR. So just click shift divide, you get the C. 10C2 will give us 45. So these represent 45. This is to the power of 8. So take note, 2 to the power of 8, and then also 2 times 8, so this is 16. 2 to the power of 8 give us 256. This one will be x to the power of 16. Okay, this one power 2. Negative to the power of 2 is positive. So that means I don't have any more negative here. So this one will just be 1 over x squared. And when I simplify, I get 11520 x to the power of 14. And take note, they ask you to write out the ratio of the coefficient. So only this part is the coefficient. Don't include the x14. If they ask for the whole term, you write the whole thing. If they ask for only the coefficient, it's only the number in front of the x to the power of 14, which is in this case 11520. So I'm going to apply the same thing for finding the fifth term. So let's find the fifth term. So it's 4 plus 1. So my error is 4. So in this case, it will be 10C4. Okay, 2x squared, 10 minus 4, 1 minus 1 over x to the power of 4. Okay, so in this case, this one will give us 210. This one will be 2 to the power of 6, so I get 64. This one is 6 times 2, so it's x to the power of 12. And negative to the power of even number is still positive, so this one is 1 over x to the power 1 over x to the power of 4. Okay, and when you simplify, you get 13440 x to the power of 8. I want the coefficient. So now I have the coefficient of the term 3, I have the coefficient of the term 5. They want to know the ratio. Therefore, you will say that the ratio, ratio will be equals to 11520 is to 13440. And you can use the calculator to simplify it. 11520 over 13440. Press the equal, it gives us 6 over 7. Okay, so therefore it is equals to 6:7, and you are done. Can? This one pretty straightforward because they already tell you which term they want. So you just need to apply the general term formula. The next question will be a tough one, which is the common questions that students always stuck and don't know what to do. So you see the weightage is 5 marks. So let's hope that after today you know how to do this question. Okay. So they say that the first 3 terms in the expansion blah 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 in ascending power of x are da 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 da. So they tell you the first 3 terms of this expansion is this. So now you look at this one. You have two unknown. You have the unknown P and unknown N. Okay, the most nightmare is when the power N is not given to us. So then how are we going to do it, right? So let's expand this with the P and N. So our 1 plus px to the power of m, when I expand this using the binomial, it will be 1 to the power of n plus nc1, 1 to the power of n minus 1, b is px 1, plus nc2, 1 n minus 2, px to the power of 2. 1, 2, 3. It's already 3 terms. So the balance I don't need. I just put plus dot dot dot. Okay, so the plus dot dot dot, you don't plus so many dots. 3 dots is the maximum. You cannot put 1 dot. You must really put plus dot dot dot. Okay, I have students, the teacher minus their mark when they didn't put plus dot dot dot. Because you need to let the teacher know that you know that there are more expansion terms. It's just that we are not interested because we just want to use the first 3 terms to compare with this one in order to solve the unknown. So we don't need the balanced terms, but you need to let the teacher know that you know there are other terms. Okay, but of course if it's complete already, of course you don't have to put plus dot dot dot. If let's say the expansion is complete, in this case it's not complete, so you got to put plus dot dot dot. Okay, next, simplify. Okay, 1 to the power of anything is just 1. So this is 1. NC1, you need to know that it is n. 1 to the power of anything is just 1. This one is to the power of 1, so it's just px. Okay, so now the tough part is, what is NC2? Okay, what is NC2? So see here. Okay, I always tell my students this is how you write. Look at the so-called the bottom number is a 2. So the bottom is supposed to be 2 factorial. What is 2 factorial? 2 factorial is 2 times 1. If it's 5 factorial, it's 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. It's like, oh, you multiply with the reducing number. Okay, so now this is, look at the number below, is 2. So I need 2 factorial. So you put as 2 multiplied by 1. Sometimes you ask me, 2 times 1 is just 2. Why can't you just write 2? That's the reason why I want you to put 2 times 1. Your bottom has 2 numbers, 2 and 1, correct? So now look at the upper number, it is an n. So the numerator here, you will start with an n. And because my bottom has 2 numbers, so the top part will be n multiplied by a reducing number as well. That's all. That is NC2 in terms of n. Because if it's a 5C2, we press the calculator, we know the value, correct? But when the n is not given to us, then we need to put it in terms of n. So you must know. Many students don't know this. So I repeat, NC2 is 2 times 1, because the number is 2 here, is 2 factorial, and I have 2 numbers here, so the top part start from n and then multiply by 1 number, because I also want 2 numbers. So just to let you know at the side here, okay, you need to know NC1 is equals to n. You need to know NC2 is 2 times 1, n and n minus 1. And you need to know NC3. NC3 will be 3 factorial, so it's 3 times 2 times 1. So you see the bottom has 3 numbers, so the numerator you will put n, n minus 1 and n minus 2. Then you may ask me, do I need N4 or NC4? Don't need. You don't need NC4. Because once you are able to know how to do these two, they will not going to test you what is NC4. But you know that if you're going to write NC4, it's simply just 4 factorial at the bottom. Okay, you see NC4, 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, correct? 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Then the top start from n, so it will be n minus 1, n minus 2, and n minus 3. And that's all. So in other words, you just need to know how to express all these NC something in terms of n. So this is important. Okay, this is important, must know. Okay, now let's continue. Okay, so I have done the NC2 in terms of n. 1 to the power of anything is just 1. This one, take note, px squared. So px squared is p squared and x squared because you square both of them. So this one should be p squared x squared plus dot dot dot. Okay, so let's continue. So now to further simplify, I have 1 plus mpx. This is mpx. N times px, so it's mpx. This one, now I can simplify this as 2n minus 1, and we have p square x square plus dot dot dot. Okay, so now you look at this one. You look at this, compare with your this. Okay, compare. So you will say, okay, by comparing, okay, 1 and 1 is of course is the same for this case. Okay, so it means that my NP is actually negative 45. So you will say, okay, my NP is equals to negative 45. Then you will say, how two unknown? It's okay, don't worry, don't worry. This is just the first equation. You will have to form a second equation in order to solve it. So how are we going to get the second equation? Now let's take a look at the coefficient of the x squared. So over here is 900. So that means over here I will know that n minus 1 over 2 p squared is equals to 900. Right? Okay, so don't go and simplify this first. Let's take over here. So now you know that you need to make use of the first equation to sub into this second equation. Now you look at the second equation. It's easier that if I make p the subject over here, because I only need to manipulate 1. If I make n the subject, I need to change here, need to change here. So it will not, it still work, but it will be more tedious when you're manipulating. So I'm going to make p the subject for this situation. So my p will be equals to negative 45 over n. So I shall label this as equation 1. So now I'm going to substitute my equation 1 into my equation 2. So this is my equation 2. So far okay? Any question? Can give me some response. Give me a no question. All good. Type in the chat so that I know that you all are following me. How all good? Is even anyone listening? Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, so now we're going to sub it in. So now this n minus 1 and over 2 remains the same because we just replacing the p. So now it will become negative 45 over n square equals to 900 over 1. So let's settle the square first. n minus 1 over 2. This one will negative to power of 2 is positive. 45 square will be 2025 over n square equals to 900 over 1. So since this is multiply, I'm going to put them together. So you will have 2025n minus 1 over 2n square equals to 900 over 1. Okay, so now I can cross multiply. So I will cross multiply and have 2025 n square minus 2025n equals to 1800 n square. And since this is a quadratic equation, I'm going to bring everything to the left hand side. So you will have 2025 n square minus 1800n square minus 2025n equals to 0. So I end up having 225n square minus 2025n equals to 0. Let's continue here. Okay, this morning I was telling my student, okay, a lot of times when you all solve quadratic equation, you all think that quadratic equation definitely must have 3 terms one. No, not necessary. So this one 2 terms, then how to solve, right? Actually, we just need to factorize out the common factor. So in this case, the common factor is 225n. You factorize this out, you left with n minus 9n. Oh, this one should be... Wait, Correct. 9 there. Factorize out the 225n. Okay? So it becomes like that. So you will have 225n equals to 0 or n minus 9 equals to 0. You solve your n. This one is n equals to 0. And this n equals to 0 you can reject because it doesn't make sense that your n is 0. Because anything to the power of 0 give you 1. Then it actually doesn't make sense anymore. It's the whole thing is 0 already. So then you can reject here. And therefore your n is equals to 9. Okay, so this question, okay, you must be very strong with your simultaneous. Okay, so you need to know, oh, I have 2 unknown n and p. Then in your head, you must automatically know that, oh, I need 2 equations in order to do simultaneous. Okay, and you can see that this simultaneous involves fraction. So you must know how to handle it. So I just want to highlight a few things. Okay, firstly, okay, when you have a fraction, you can see that my ultimate goal is always to have equal, and then left hand side single fraction, right hand side single fraction. When it's just a number, just now was 900. To make it single fraction is simply just 900 over 1. Then the left hand side here, okay, when you sub in the p, my p was negative 45 over n. So common mistake is, of course, students maybe they don't know that, oh, negative to the power of 2 is positive. So actually the positive disappear. Okay, so that's a common mistake that students make. Next is they forget to square the denominator. So you need to remember that this square belongs to the numerator, also belongs to the denominator. Okay, so by eliminating all these common mistakes that students always make, you will definitely solve it perfect. Okay, then just now I mentioned, when you see that it's a quadratic equation with 2 terms, no need to panic. All you need to do is just applying factorization. So what I did was just take out common factor 225n. So I left with this. So it will be 225n equals to 0, n minus 9 equals to 0, and you get n equals to 9. N equals to 0 doesn't make sense, so we reject this. Okay, and of course, like I mentioned just now, I put inside this green color box. You need to know how to do your NC1, NC2, NC3, and NC4. They seldom test this one. In fact, I don't really see the NC4. Commonly, it's NC1 all the way to NC3. And that's all. That's our binomial topic. But I also want to talk about one thing about binomial. Okay, let's take for example. Let's show here. Okay, I'm going to do it behind so you know. It's the often thing that this paper I didn't include the kind of question. I have a part C. I forgot. We have a part C here. Part C here, you will use that concept that I talk about. Okay, strange. Where is mine? It's here. Okay. Okay, let me finish up this last part for this one. Then I'll talk about the forming equation to find the term that you want. Okay, So far in this question, haven't used it yet. So let me just finish this part 2. Okay, so now in this part 2, they ask, hence, find the term independent of x in the expansion of this one multiplied by this one. So you need to know that term independent of x means is x to the power of 0. It means it's the constant. Okay, so constant you need to know is x to the power of 0, because x to the power of 0 is 1. Okay, so now I want to do this multiplied by this. Just now this part is the in front part, right? And we already know our 3 terms. They already give it to us. So for this question, right, even if like you cannot do the you cannot find the p and the n, it's also okay, because they already give you the three terms So now is I need to do this expansion first. 2 minus 1x to the power of 2. In this case, there's a square. Sometimes they don't have the square. Okay, for those who want more practice on binomial questions, you can always go to my YouTube channel. Go under my channel, search under my video. I think you can just type binomial. I believe there's a lot of questions, because for the last year I did a mixture of topics, and I remember I did binomial. Okay, if you all need more questions, you can go to my YouTube channel. Okay, so this I have to rainbow this. You either use the a minus b square, or you can just rainbow it manually. Okay, so I'm going to just do it manually. So this means that I will have the 2 brackets exactly the same. So let's rainbow. 2 times 2, so we have a 4. This multiplied by this, I have minus 2 over x. This multiplied by this, I have minus 2 over x. And this multiplied by this, I have plus 1 over x squared. These 2 is like terms, we can simplify, so it's actually 4 minus 4 over x plus 1 over x squared. Okay, so why do I need to expand this? Because I want to see, okay, so this I will write it as 2 minus 1 over x squared and 1 plus px to the power of n. It will be equals to this 4 minus 4 over x plus 1 over x squared, rainbow with the terms. So because look at here, 4 multiplied by the constant here will contribute to my constant. Agree? This is x to the power of negative 1. X to the power of negative 1, when you expand with x, it will give you your constant term. This is x to the power of negative 2. When you expand with x squared, it will give you your constant term. So in other words, we only need 3 terms here. And that 3 term previously they already give it to you, which is the 1 minus 45x plus 900x squared. And because we know there are other terms, so we have to put plus dot dot dot. We are not interested in them because we don't need them to find our independent of x. This was given over here. So now let's analyze. Let's analyze. So my 4 will have to rainbow with my 1. So my 4 rainbow with my 1. Okay, you see, of course you might be thinking, I have to rainbow this, I have to rainbow this, I have to rainbow this, right? But because your objective is to find the term that is independent of x, so you don't need to go and expand those terms that you are not interested. We are only interested to expand those terms that will contribute to become my x to the power of 0, which is the constant. So the 4 only rainbow with the 1 is the term that I'm interested. Then next is this minus 4 over x will expand with this, will give me the constant term that I'm interested. The other terms we are not interested. So that means I need minus 4 over x, I need to expand it with my minus 45x. Next, this one. My plus 1 over x squared also has to expand with my 900x squared. And of course, there are a lot of expansion, right? But we are not interested. So just put plus dot dot dot. So now let's simplify. So this one is just 4. Minus minus, this is plus. 4 multiplied by 45 will give me 180. You see, this x and this x disappear. Okay, next is this x squared, this x negative 2 and x squared will also disappear. So I only left with a 900. And then after that, plus dot dot dot. There are other terms we are not interested. And then we have 1084 plus dot dot dot. So therefore the term independent of x is equals to 1084. Done. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about using, let's say, this one. Okay, in this question, this one is very straightforward. When they ask you third term and fifth term, you straight away just apply the general formula, correct? But what if, let's say what if, let me say for this 2x squared minus 1 over x to the power of 10. So let's say you want to find the coefficient of x to power of 14 and x to power of 8. Because there are times whereby you need to find out which is the term that give you the coefficient, which is the term that give you the x to power of something that you are interested in. So just imagine that this question, my paper are a bit weird. Okay, never mind. Can you all see this? Can you see my writing? I don't know why it looks like the reflection a bit weird. Can see? Yes, okay, can. So let's say, for example, this expansion. Okay, I want to find the coefficient of x14 and x8. Although we already know the answer. You see, the answer is 11520 and 13440. We know it's the third term and fifth term. But let's imagine that this is not here. Okay, I choose this is because we can check the answer directly. Okay, so now, I say, okay, this one expansion. So please, don't go and expand everything using a binomial theorem and then go and find these two terms. You're going to take a long time. That is not efficient at all. So what you need to do is use the general term formula again. But this time round, you don't know what is your R. Okay, imagine that you don't know what is your R. So you will say, okay, TR plus 1, it will be 10CR. Now the thing is you don't know what is your R. 2x squared m minus 10 minus 2, 10 minus R. They are already bigger. And minus 1 over x to the power of r. Okay, so this is the general term formula. The only difference is you do not know what is your R. So let's analyze. Only this and this will contribute. Okay, so we will have two parts, right? One, this is the coefficient, and one, this is the x to the power of question mark. So the one that I circle in green color will actually contribute to here. Okay, this is actually a part of the coefficient, and this, even this, okay, will contribute to here. This one. So the red color part that I circle contribute to your coefficient. The green color that I circle contribute to the x to the power of something. Agree? So let's analyze the green color part. So this one will be x2 10 minus r and x minus r. Okay, because this is denominator, so it's x to the power of negative r. So I want to equal it to x to the power of 14. Because now is I want to form equation to find out what is the r that give me the coefficient that I need. So now this is x to the power of 20 minus 2r minus r is equals to x 14. So this is x 20 minus 3r equals to x 14. You will say, oh, so therefore 20 minus 3r equals to 14 minus 3r equals to minus 6. Oh, here got one extra. Then after that, my r equals to 2. So you know, oh, my r equals to 2. So that means I want to go and find my third term. Right? Then now you know third term will give you the coefficient of x14. Then you say, oh, okay, then I apply T3. And then you do this. And you get, oh, so the term is 11520 for my coefficient x to the power of 14. Understand? Okay, so now the same thing. I want to find the coefficient of x8. Don't need to repeat the whole thing. No need to repeat the whole thing. No need to repeat the whole thing. Because you just need to, okay, so now the same thing. I want to find the coefficient of x8. Don't need to repeat the whole thing. No need to repeat the whole thing. Because you just need to, okay, so now the same thing. I want to find the coefficient of x8. Don't need to repeat the whole thing. Because you just need to repeat this part, which is actually this part. Here, this. Now you only say, okay, x20 minus 3r equals to x to the power of 8. So I know that my 20 minus 3r equals to 8, minus 3r equals to 8 minus 20, minus 3r equals to minus 12, my r is equals to 4. So I know, oh, so the fifth term will give me the x to the power of 8. Then you apply your T5, which is your 4 plus 1, Oh, so this is the term, which is the x to the power of 8. Understand? Okay? So, and also take note, okay, when you sub in, the r definitely give you a positive integer. If the situation is whereby, let's say, sometimes they trick you. Example, if this one, let's say this one is part A, and let's say I have a part B. I say find coefficient of, let's say, x to the power of 9. Then I don't have to repeat the whole thing. I just do the same thing. I just do, okay, x to the power of 20 minus 3r equals to x to the power of 9. Then when I do my 20 minus 3r equals to 9 minus 3r equals to minus 11, then I get r equals to 11 over 3. So I doesn't get a positive integer, correct? So when such situation happen, check your working first. Make sure that it's really non-integer. And when you confirm plus guarantee chop that it is non-integer, it simply means that, oh, so therefore there is no term that has x to the power of 9. Or you can just straight away say the coefficient, or you can write it, the coefficient of x to the power of 9 is equals to 0. Because there's no such term, means that the coefficient is 0. You understand? Okay, so you need to know this also. Sometimes they trick you. Then students get non-integer, then they wonder why is it that it's non-integer. So that's the reason. If there is no such term, of course you will not have the error. When you have a positive error, it means that, oh, R2 means is third term, R4 means is fifth term. Then you apply your general term formula to find the term that you want. Understand? Okay, so this is a very important part whereby finding out the term that you want, the particular term that you want, that the coefficient of the term that you want. Okay, so we are done with this part. Let's move on to the next. Okay, where is it? Seems that I will OT a bit. Okay, now let's take a look at question 3. Question 3, very fast one. It's only the question 4 letter R formula. Maybe I'll extend it a little bit. Okay, so remember how many to like and share. Let me see what's the like now. 4.6k. Ayya. Today my target is 10k then. Can help me to like, okay? So that I can hit 10k. Let's see the leaderboard. I will be able to see who give me the most like. Why is it that it is by... Oh, it's only by the number of coins. I thought can be a number of likes. That's weird. So in the end, I only have this person in my leaderboard. I will go and adjust again. Okay. So now let's do this question over here. So now the value V of a piece of rare jewel at the beginning of 2022 was 32,000. Okay, this value increased continuously such that after a period of 15 years, the value now become 160,000. So they tell you the formula to calculate the value is da 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 da. They tell you A and K are constant, means this is a fixed number, and they tell you that T is in terms of years, starting from the 2022. So they want you to find the value of A and value of K. So A, you need to know that A is in front of here. Okay, to find the A, actually all you need to do is sub T equals to 0. Okay, sub T equals to 0. Substitute T equals to 0. Why 0? It's because you want to find what is the initial value. Actually, we already know it because it's here. Okay, but I'm going to just no, actually this one cannot. Sorry, this one cannot. This one cannot substitute T equals to 0 because the formula itself did not have the 32,000. But this first sentence already tell us the information because they say the value start at 32,000. So this one means that my A is straight away 32,000. Okay, this one no need working because they already tell us the starting A is 32,000. Okay, now next I need to find my K. So how do you find your K is I will have to substitute T equals to 15 because they tell me after 15 years the value now become 160,000. So I need to sub in T equals to 15 as well as my V is 160,000. Okay, those questions that have many zero always make it a point to go and check that the number of zero is correct because sometimes students put additional 1 0 or less 1 0. Okay, it matters. And of course I'm going to sub in my A is 32,000 as well. So let's sub into the formula. So it means that it will be 160,000 equals to 32,000 and 1.25 K15. Okay, how many to sub? Okay, now after sub already, now the thing is students always start how to solve and the common mistake is they go and multiply 32,000 with 1.25. Cannot because your 1.25 is to the power of this one. So this is actually together. Okay, you cannot just multiply the 32,000 inside. Cannot. So what's the trick? The trick is this 32,000 is multiplied with here. So I'm going to bring the 32,000 to the other side. So it becomes 160,000 divided by 32,000. So it will be equals to 1.25 to the power of 15K. This one reduced is 5. So 5 equals to 1.25 15K. Okay? So this is, so you should know how to do bring that 32,000 to the other side. Because it's multiplied on the right hand side. So when I bring it over, it becomes divide. So now how to solve this? I say, ayo, this one, how am I going to change the 125 to base 5 and blah blah blah? It's okay, it doesn't matter because when you have such situation, you just choose to log or ln both sides. It doesn't matter which one you choose because you choose to log both sides when base 10 is involved. You chose to ln both sides when E is involved. This one, the base is 5, not 10, not E. This base is 1.25, not 10, also not E. So you can choose either one. So I'm going to ln both sides. So ln both sides. I will have ln 5 is equals to ln 1.25 15K. Then we're going to make use of the logarithm law whereby the power can bring down, power law. So now it becomes 15K ln 1.25 and ln 5. Okay, why is it that we ln both sides? Because we want to make use of the power law to bring the K down. So now let's continue. So now to make K the subject, my K will simply be ln 5 divided by 15 ln 1.25. And you press the calculator, you get 0.48083788293. So answer round off to 3SF, 0.481, 3SF. And we are done. Okay, you can see that I write a very long number here because later part when we're going to do calculation, we're going to use the long number to calculate. Okay, so now we are done with the part 1, part A. Next, the year in which the value of the stone first reached 200,000. So that means I need to find out what is the T when my value is 200,000. So now it means that I'm going to substitute my V is equals to 200,000. As well as your, of course, sub in your K as well. Also sub in your K. Okay, I don't want to write. So now the same formula over here. Now I will write 200,000 is equals to 32,000, 1.25, my K is 0.4808378. I think this should be sufficient. Then after that with the T. So it's using the same formula, and because your A is constant, so it's fixed at 32,000. Your K is also a constant, therefore it's also fixed at this digit. Okay, the only unknown here is the T. Okay, we're going to learn both sides again, but before we do that, we're going to bring the 32,000 to the other side first. So we will have 200,000 over 32,000 equals to 1.25 to the power of 0.4808378T. This one, when you reduce to the lowest term, you get 6.25. So I just write 6.25 equals to 1.25, 0.4808378T. So now we're going to learn both sides. Okay, so now we choose to learn both sides. So we will have ln 6.25 equals to ln 1.25, 0.4808378T. Power law, bring this down, so I will have 0.4808378K and then ln 1.25. Ln 6.25. So to solve my, this is T, not K. My bad. So now my T will be equals to ln 6.25 divided by 0.4808378 ln 1.25. And we key the whole thing to the calculator, you will get 17.0797. Okay, and very important, do you see that they ask you to find the year. Okay, the year in which they blah blah blah. So common mistake, common mistake. In this case, we know that 17.07, you will go and round down to 17, correct? But you need to take note, even if today, if your answer is 17.5 something, you will want to go and round up to 18, right? But it's not correct. Why? Because they said the year. 1 year have 12 months. Even if it's 17.5, it means that it's like the 17th year plus. So it's still within the 17th year. You understand? So you don't plus it to 18. Because if you put 18, then it will not reach our 200,000. Because it haven't increased until 200,000. No. If you upgrade it to 18, when you upgrade it to 18, yes, sorry. If you upgrade it to 18, it is already more than 200,000. But because they want you to know in the year that it first reached 200,000, so you cannot go and choose the 18. Because you see, 18, 19, 20 years later, definitely will be more than 200,000. But they want the particular year whereby it first reached 200,000. So it's within the 17th year. Understand? So round it off to 17, and it's from year 2022, so 2022 plus 17, so therefore it's 2039. Therefore it is year 2039. Done. Got it? Okay, I still have a last question, but it's already 6 o'clock. I'm not so sure whether, because I see that the view is actually not so a lot. So just want to know whether are you all still staying on for question number 4. which is the R formula question. If you are staying, then I continue. If you are not staying, then I will push the fourth question to the next slide. So who wants me to continue? Please type yes. Okay, please type a yes if you want me to continue. If not, then I will just bring forward. So fast, huh? Okay. Okay, can. Since got someone, even one student, I will also teach. So let's just do it. Okay, so now this question. Let me see whether got like or not. Oh, thank you. I achieved my 10K like. Thank you very much for helping me to achieve that. Okay, I know one of them who pressed the like is the Hashdid. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. So now let's do our R formula. Okay, so now a structure blah 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 is such that ATC, okay, is a straight line. They tell us AT is 3, our TC is 4. Okay, I like to read the question and make sure that all the information are into the diagram. Okay, because if it's not into the diagram, then we need to update our diagram. Okay, so it's my habit. You all must also have this good habit. BC is parallel. Okay, they already put in the parallel line. 90 degree. Okay, they marked out 90 degree already. Theta, they already marked out. And they tell us that the theta is an angle between 0 and 90. Okay, all information updated. So now your task is to prove that BA plus AD is this. Okay, so for our formula, this kind of diagram question, you need to go and find right angle triangle with the theta. So in this question, you already have one theta here, which I'm going to use this ABC triangle. Okay, and you can see that now, referring to ABC, you know that this theta, this is my opposite. See, this is my opposite. This is my adjacent. And this one is my hypotenuse, correct? I'm not going to write, so this one is hypotenuse. So my AB, I want to form an equation. So I'm going to use opposite as well as my AC, which is 7. So I will say, okay, sine theta is equals to AB over 7. Okay, this is the equation. Then just put over 1, cross multiply, I have AB equals to 7 sine theta. So actually we settled AB already, you see? Right? Okay, now how to do the other one? Okay, so the other one, we know that in this case, okay, the hint is you look at the numbers you have. Okay, I can see a 3 here. So AD is here. So that means I'm going to use the triangle ADT. So within the right angle triangle, the critical part is you need to identify which is the angle that is theta. This one is still pretty straightforward. Why? Because it's parallel line. So alternate angle Z. So we know that this is theta. So with this is theta, we will know that this is opposite, and then this is adjacent. I want to find AD, so that means I need my adjacent. So I need adjacent, and 3 is given, is my hypotenuse. A and H is car. So I'm going to use cosine. So I'm going to form the equation. Oh, cosine theta is equals to AD over 3. Again, cross multiply. So we know my AD is equals to 3 cosine theta. So therefore, we know that BA plus AD is equals to 7 sine theta plus 3 cosine theta. Shown. Done. Okay, so that's how you form the equation and prove it. A lot of times, student first part, they don't know how to prove. It's actually just finding the relevant triangle form equation with Tuakaso. Okay, so now next, you need to change them into R formula, the R formula form. So they tell us that they want us to express BA plus AD in the form of this. That means you need to change this. We are supposed to change 7. Okay, you see, be careful. You see here, they put 7 sine theta plus 3 cosine theta. But you see, they want us to put it in terms of cosine. So I need to switch it over. So never mind, I write out this question first. Your objective is to change this to be in the form of R cosine theta minus alpha. But I have to switch this over because I want to be in terms of cosine. This have to be arranged in the first term. So I have to write it as 3 cosine theta plus 7 sine theta. Okay, you see here? Okay, you need to always rearrange it this way first. Then, in this case, you will know that, oh, my A is 3, my B is 7, then my R will be square root 3 square plus 7 square. Simply just take these two numbers, square it, and add them and then square root. It's just something like Pythagoras theorem, but it's not Pythagoras theorem. Just do 3 square plus 7 square and square root. So I will get square root 58. Don't give in decimal. Leave your answer in the surds form. Okay, next is the alpha. So the alpha must be tangent inverse B over A. That's why I say your A and B is very important. If you follow them and just put down, you say your A is 7 and then you say your B is 3. This is wrong because A is 3, B is 7. So it's tangent inverse 7 over 3. And that's how we get 66.8014 degree. Therefore, our answer is square root 58 cosine theta minus 66.8 degree. Done. Okay, you can see that my alpha, I put the long number, but final answer, I put it as the 1 dp. Okay, right, the long number is because later part, if we're going to use it, we're going to use the long number to do calculation. So that is how you change to R formula. Okay, now let's move on to the last part. Where is my last part? Here. Next, they ask you to find the maximum value and the corresponding value of theta. Correct? So actually, it's not that tough. Okay, let me just rewrite. Just now our BA plus AD is square root 58 cosine theta minus 66.8014 degree. Okay, just now was this from the front part. Okay, so it's just like trig-graph. Remember, our amplitude, to find the amplitude is a number in front of the sine or in front of the cosine. In this case, our amplitude is in front of this cosine. So in this our maximum simply is square root 58 and put it in decimal, so it's 7.615, round off to 3SF, 7.62 cm. Okay, so it is the same as trig-graph. Our amplitude is square root 58 and the maximum will be square root 58, the minimum will be negative square root 58, that's all. Then some students may ask, what is this but how about this theta minus 66.8014? This is called phase shift. Okay, phase shift on the graph, it will only affect your the left and right. Your graph go left and right. Okay, but it doesn't affect your amplitude. It doesn't go up and down. So it doesn't matter. It will not affect my maximum and minimum. It will still remains the same. And they want you to find out what's the corresponding value of theta. Okay, look at this. When will this whole thing be square root 58? When this whole thing is 1, agree? Because square root 58 multiplied by 1 give us square root 58 So it happens when cosine theta minus 66.8014 degree is equals to 1. Then let's take a look at our cosine graph. Where is 1? 1 is here. So when is it that cosine theta is 1? It happens when it's at 0 degree as well as 360 degree. So it means that, so theta minus 66.8014 happens at 0 degree as well as 360 degree. And the corresponding theta will be 0 plus this. So 0 plus 66.8014. And then 360 plus 66.8014 degree. So this one I can reject because it's already out of the range. Okay, our theta is always acute. So therefore it is 66.8 degree. And we're done. So that means the maximum is 7 point. So we will write therefore maximum equals to square root 58. Sorry, 7.62 cm at theta is equals to 66.8 degree. Done. So this is how you find the maximum or minimum. So if they ask for maximum, it will be the positive value, and it happens when theta is and the whole thing is equals to 1. If they ask for negative, you will say negative is the minimum value. Okay, if they ask for minimum value, you will say it is equals to negative square root 58. And when does it happen? It happens when cosine, this whole thing is equals to negative 1. And where is negative 1 is at 90 degree. Then it will be equals to 90 degree. You understand? Okay. Okay, so now let's look over here. State the minimum value of this. So actually this one very straightforward. You just need to understand minimum value of 1 over BA plus AD square minus 6. Okay, now let's analyze. Let's take a look at this fraction. How do you get the most minimum of this whole thing? You want the whole denominator to be as big as possible, correct? Because 1 over a big number will give us a very small value. Because it's a fraction, it's 1 over something. So in other words, we want our BA plus AD to be the maximum. And our part C, we already know that maximum value is square root 58. So actually it's just 1 over square root 58 square minus 6, and that will give us 1 over 52, and we're done. That's all. Okay? It's very straightforward. It's just like, I want 1 divided by the maximum I can get, and that will give us the most minimum for the whole fraction. That's what it means. Okay, now let's take a look at the last part. I can tell you last part many students couldn't get it because they missed out one answer. Woo, thanks for the 13K. Thank you very much. Okay, I don't want to be greedy. Today my target is 10K. I've already reached it. I'm very, very contented and happy. So if there are more, that's bonus for me. Okay, but I don't want to stress you all to give me so many likes. Okay, come. Let's take a look at part E. Now solve the equation. So if you notice, this is exactly the same as our front part, which is the one that they asked us to for BA plus AD. Okay, so yeah, it's exactly the same, right? Exactly the same. So it means that to solve this equation, I simply change this to become square root 58 cosine theta minus 66.8014 degree equals to 4. Because in front part we already changed these two terms to become this. That is how you solve the equation for this type. Because there's no way you can change sine theta into a cosine. You cannot change the cosine theta to sine as well. So the only way out is you got to change these two terms to be either in terms of cosine using R formula, or change it also to single trigo sine also using R formula. Either one. But since this question already changed into cosine, we just straight away plug and use. Okay, we just straight away plug and use. So then we will say, okay, so that means our cosine theta minus 66.8014 degree is equals to 4 over square root 58. Okay, see here, cosine positive. So let's talk about the 4th quadrant. Where is cosine positive? It's in the 1st and the 4th quadrant. Then next, we go and find our basic angle. So our basic angle, all you need to do is just do cosine inverse the positive value. In this case is 4 square root 58. And our basic angle is 58.3165 degree. Okay, next, this one. So our theta minus 66.8014 degree is equals to first quadrant, which is our basic 58.3165. Fourth quadrant is 360 minus 58.3165, and that will give us 301.683 degree. Then many students stop here. Okay, they stop here. But you need to be careful, because over here I still have a theta minus 66. So later part when I still have to plus the 66 in order to get my theta, right? So we always need to test and find out what are the other angles that will still give us the theta within our range. So I'm going to teach you this way how you know whether is it within the range. Let me show you. Initially they tell us that our theta is in the range of, where is it? Yeah, the front part they did tell us that our theta is 0 degree to 90 degree. This is called the answer range. We want our working range. How do we want our working range? Is this one. So we will find the range for theta minus 66.8014. It will be between negative 66.8014 and 90 minus 66. So 90 minus 66.8014. So we will have 23.1986. So this is my working range. So now let's take a look. This is the first two angle you have based on first quadrant and fourth quadrant. Then we must always test for the plus 360 degree, one round, plus one round, and minus one round. 58 plus 360 is definitely out of my working range, so I don't bother to waste my time. If you look at it, this 301, right, is actually out of my working range. So I know this one I will reject. I don't have to go to the next line already. But take note, this one minus 360. Okay, 301.683 minus 360 actually give us negative 58.317 degree. Do you see that this minus 58 is within my working range? Therefore, I have to take this into consideration. Even this 58.3165 actually is out of my working range. But I have to write it down is because the first two must definitely write down, because we always use the first two to do our referencing for plus 360 and minus 360. So then over here I can reject this one already. So I only have this one which is within my working range. So then let's continue to the next step. So now we know that our theta will be this value minus 58.317 plus 66.8014. And that's how we're going to get 8.4854 degree. Rounding off to 1 dp, we get 8.5 degree, 1 dp. And we are done. Okay, so this answer range and working range is a very useful way, okay, for me to define what are the numbers that I need to get on this first line before I continue to the other steps. Understand? Yay, we are done with all the questions.